Hey guys, welcome to today's Crash Course video. Today we'll be talking about World War II.
Why were there two world wars? Wasn't the world practically destroyed after the first one?
Well, yes. You see, the end of World War I thrusted all the countries in the world into economic troubles. The end of World War I started World War II. It all began in 1931 when Japan invaded Manchuria.
So Japan actually started everything.
Sort of. Now, the world was quiet until 1933 when Hitler was elected as Chancellor in Germany. Being elected gave him dictatorial powers and soon led to a xenophobic rule. In 1935, on September 15th, Hitler passed Nuremberg laws. This prohibited from Jews and Germans marrying each other, and it also prohibited Jewish women under the age of 45 from working. A month later, Italy decided to follow Japan's lead and they invaded Ethiopia. Because of all that was going around in the world, FDR decided to draft a statement of neutrality to keep from getting into any endeavors in the world. This was because of the economic crisis that America was in.
Why did Hitler hate Jews so much anyways?
He hated them because he felt that hating them, it would, one, create an enemy for him to make him seem like a hero to the public eye, and two, because he felt that the Jewish people were causes for all the problems in Germany. In 1936, Hitler reclaimed Rhineland, which was taken from Germany at the end of World War I.
That didn't last long.
Later, in mid-1936, Hitler and Mussolini teamed up to create an alliance called the Axis powers.
Wait, who was Mussolini? When did he show up?
Oh, right, of course. Sorry. Mussolini was the fascist leader of Italy elected in 1924.
What's a fascism?
Fascism is an authoritarian and nationalistic right-wing system of government and social organization. Now, there was a pause in between Italy's invasion of Ethiopia, a time called Kristallnacht. This translates to Night of Broken Glass. This event occurred on November 9th, 1938. That night, Nazis had gone through Jewish town, breaking the windows of stores owned by Jewish people. After this night, many Jews were put in concentration camps. Many dozens of Jews were killed that night as well. This provoked outrage throughout the entire world. This night was named after all the broken glass that was found scattered in the streets in the next morning.
Can you say the name of that night again?
No. Now, many call this night the night that provoked the rest of the war. Now, Kristallnacht.
You said the word.
Germany invaded Poland not short after on September 1st, 1939. Many other people believe that this was the start of World War II. After hearing that Germany invaded their ally, Poland, France and England decided to declare war on Germany. They declared war on September 3rd, 1939. Warsaw, the capital of Poland, surrendered to Germany on September 27th, 1939. This also happened to be the same date that Japan joined the Axis powers, allying themselves with Germany and Italy. Germany chose to next invade Denmark and the Netherlands. By 1940, Germany had invaded France. Germany quickly moved on and decided to invade the Netherlands and Denmark. Germany moved on quickly and started to invade France and also Belgium as a result in May 1940.
Wait, why was Germany invading so many countries anyways?
Germany was invading so many other countries because he wanted to have an upper hand on the other countries and powers in the world. On June 19th, Germany invaded Paris, France, and 3 days later, France had surrendered to Germany's power. The Battle of Britain was a battle that took place between July and October of 1940. This was the first Air Force battle of the Second World War. During this battle, it was the first British air raid of the war. It was a defensive victory for the British over Berlin on August 25th.
So wait, did America actually stay neutral throughout this war, or did we do stuff?
I'm getting to that. America, after the Battle of Britain, passed a law called the Lend-Lease Act in 1941. This allowed America to help the Allied powers and aid them with troops. Germany continued their climb by invading the Soviet Union on June 22, 1941.
Whoa. Who were the Soviet Union and what role did they play?
The Soviet Union was an alliance between the Soviet countries. They consisted of Ukraine, Belarus, Russia, and the Transcaucasian Federation. They formed in December of 1922. Germany decided to attack the Soviet Union. On September 8th, Germany began their 900-day siege on Leningrad. On December 8th, America was finally fed up with all of what the Axis powers were doing. They declared war on Japan. Another reason why they declared war was because of the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, the day before. By the start of 1942, 26 countries had declared war against the Axis powers. By June 6th, America helped aid the Allied powers and won the Battle of Midway. By November of 1942, Germany had launched their counterattacks at the Battle of Stalingrad. Things began to grow more heated as Britain conducted the first daylight air raid over Berlin on January 30th, 1943. A few days later, on February 2nd, Germany surrendered in Stalingrad to the Allied powers. 5 days later, on February 7th, the Japanese were forced out of Guadalcanal.
Like this.
What the heck, man?
Okay, so, as the war was nearing its end, and it was subtly becoming clearer, who would win, the Allies. The Allies had wound up taking Sicily by August 17th, 1943. Now, they had also invaded the Italian mainland, of course, by September 3rd, 1943. By September 8th, 1943, Italy had to surrender to the Allies, unfortunately. Now here was the point where Italy, again, realized, oh, we messed up, we chose the wrong side, and they joined the Allies. So, Italy declares war on Germany on October 13th, 1943. So now, to discuss the fighting children known as the rest of the world, the Big Three decided to meet up at Tehran November 28th, 1943.
Who were the Big Three?
The Big Three were the largest superpowers in the world at the time. So, these consisted of the United States, Great Britain, and the Soviet Union. Now, 1944 rolls around, and sometime around February, the first American planes had reached Berlin. Now, a day which many people have heard of rolled around in this time period. That day was D-Day. Fun fact, D-Day does not actually stand for Death Day or Doomsday or whatever. It was actually a code used by the Allied powers to identify which day the attack would be held on. Now, D-Day occurred on June 6th, 1944. This event leaves the Allies with 209,000 casualties. By July 26th, the Allies have wound up breaking through the German lines in France. Guam is liberated by the Allies August 10th, while Paris is liberated by the Allies on August 25th. In November, Roosevelt had been elected to his 4th term as president. This left him the only American president to ever run more than 2 terms.
And so then the war was over and everyone lived happily?
Actually, America decided they weren't done with Japan, and by November 24th, 1944, American planes were in Tokyo bombing everyone. Now, this thing called the Battle of the Bulge began December 26th, 1944. And the Battle of the Bulge was basically Hitler's attempt to try and break up the Allied lines. The Allies tried to keep the German army held back, but the German army was fairly strong, and they just kept pushing their way through, forcing the Allies to form a large bulge-like shape, giving the battle its name. Due to the shocking power from Germany, the Big Three met up again in Yalta this time, on February 4th, 1945. Unfortunately, only a few months later, Roosevelt was shot and killed, April 12th, 1945.
So, did anything else happen?
Yes! April 30th, 1945 was a very big day. This was the day that Hitler was believed to commit suicide. However, they could never find his body. The Soviets rose the flag over Berlin, and 33,000 prisoners were freed from Dachau concentration camp.
So does that make him a good person then? Because he was the person who killed Hitler. And did anything else happen afterwards?
No. Okay. So, America still wasn't done with Japan. They decided to use the first nuclear weapons ever used for combat in Hiroshima and Nagasaki on April 6th and 9th. So, Japan, of course, surrendered immediately on April 14th, officially ending World War II.
And then everyone lived happily ever after.
Sure.